Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Monday. This is Seattle Now. It's the first week of the new year, and if you haven't made a resolution yet, it's never too late. We'll get into the psychology of successful resolutions and goal setting in a minute. But first, let's get you caught up. A new year means new laws. Here are a few changes in 2026 you should know about. Your next driver's license or ID card can have your blood type on it for an extra $2 if you like. Closed captioning will be required at movie theaters for a certain number of showings or by request. And plastic bags are going to cost you 12 cents instead of 8. New City Attorney Erica Evans officially takes her oath of office today. The ceremony will be at noon at City Hall. This comes after Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson and Councilmember Dion Foster were both sworn in late last week. Councilmember Eddie Lynn is the other Seattle City election winner from November. He was sworn in back in early December. And an update on flood recovery here in Washington. More of Highway 2 is open now. Governor Bob Ferguson announced last week the section from Skycomish to Stevens Pass would open yesterday. The 50-mile stretch was closed for more than 3 weeks following flood damage. The reopening is a relief for ski resorts and other businesses, depending on visitors this time of year. There's no timeline yet for reopening Eastern Highway 2. Check back for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. It's the first week of the new year. Seattle is making some big changes. We have a bunch of new leaders, a new mayor, a new city attorney, 2 new progressive city council members. I'm not so much into resolutions, but I do appreciate a clean slate. Maybe you're thinking about a resolution to start working towards in 2026, or maybe it's not the best time for you. Dr. Koriann Cox suggests maybe the pressure isn't that helpful anyway. She's a UW clinical assistant professor in the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences, and she's here with some helpful insight about change. Hey, Koriann, thanks for taking the time.
You're so welcome. Glad to be here.
So are you a New Year's resolution type kind of person?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I used to be. And then I tried a couple of different things. Tried resolutions first, tried intentions, and then realized change can happen when change happens. It doesn't have to be tied to the first of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's an important starting point for us. So from a personal growth and goal setting perspective, how important are New Year's resolutions?
I think that depends on each person. So just exactly as you said in your intro, like clean slate. Sometimes people really want that extra push, need that extra push. And there's something really, really attractive about starting with 1. Maybe tying it to January 1st is what's going to help them over the hump. I do think, though, from change and growth perspectives, when we do that, when we're like, all right, everything changes on the 1st, we tend to try to change everything, or we try to change too much of one thing without really clearly articulating what it is that we want or need or could change. And then that's what trips us up.
I heard something about the power of incremental change recently, that if you make just 1% change every month, every year, whatever, you're still changing, and it can be very reinforcing and it can build on itself.
Incremental change is still change. I love that so much. Maybe your ultimate goal is to get to a place where you are able to maybe not even go to the gym 7 days a week, but you move your body in some way 7 days a week. If you're going from nothing and you want to build up to 7, start with 1. We like to be successful. We like to meet goals. Check that little checkbox or whatever it takes is really reinforcing, much more reinforcing than beating up ourselves when we don't hit our, specified number. So saying, I'm going to go 7 days a week and you only go 6, rather than celebrating that, oh my goodness, you went 6 days. You're instead saying, well, you didn't do 7.
Is it okay to give up on your resolution?
Yes.
When is it okay to give up on your resolution?
When you realize it's not actually serving you. If you decided, yes, Gym, we'll stick with that one, right? I want to go to the gym. Maybe you find out you don't like going to the gym. Maybe you're intimidated by the machines or the people or whatever, right? Or it just doesn't work into your schedule. You were like, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. every day and I'm going to go to the gym. But it turns out you hate 5 a.m. Then if you're just like running yourself ragged because you said, I'm going to do this thing, what is the goal then? Is it to push yourself to do this thing that isn't serving you? Or is it to say, hey, you know what? Turns out I don't like going to the gym. What if I tried organizing a weekly hike with my friends or by myself? And could that be something that I do to get myself more healthy?
Because the ultimate goal is better health, not gym participation.
Exactly.
All right. Is there maybe a better time of year to set goals than the new year? It's a thing.
Yeah.
People do it.
Oh, yeah. It's a thing. People do it. I think that can then lend a lot of early cheerleading that can get some people past that initial hump, right? Because change is hard and sometimes we need a lot of encouragement. I think, though, that change happens when change happens. I think that if you realize February 7th that you would like to change on February 7th. If you check in with yourself halfway through the year and you're like, I just don't like how I feel. I don't like how I'm existing in my body. I don't like what my relationships look like. I wonder if there's something I could do differently. Change in the middle of June. Change also is very helpful when you check in with yourself. How is this working? That's the increments in incremental change.
If there's a listener right now who's wondering, should I bother to set a New Year resolution? Should I go ahead and take the plunge on this thing that I've been trying to figure out for myself? How should they be thinking about that, Koriann?
I would encourage them to ask themselves, is it harmful to me if I try this? Is it helpful to me if I try this? What could go wrong? What could go right? It's certainly powerful to try something on and asking yourself of like, how will I know if this is working? So what is my milestone to check in? How will I know if this is working? How will I know if this is not working? What might be encouraging me right now? What might be getting in my way? Because change requires willingness and ability, and not everyone has both at the same time. And it's okay. So asking themselves those questions about, where am I at right now? Do I have the ability to do this? Do I have the willingness to do this? Is it combining right at this moment? Could I check in with myself in 10 days to see if it's working? Or should I wait 10 days and then try? And really, really exploring that. Because again, if you want to make a change, it doesn't have to be on the first.
Let's help listeners with some tips for effective goal setting. How can people approach making and keeping New Year's resolutions?
That is a great question. And I'm a psychologist, so I'm going to lean back on a tool that we teach clients who come in. So when I'm meeting with someone and we're talking about what goals do you want to have, we lean on SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, or relevant, could mean either, and timely or time-bound. If you have an overall goal, maybe your overall goal is get healthier. That's not very specific. And so then you say, okay, specific, what does that mean? Or what does that mean to start? Because you might break your big goal into multi-parts. I want to eat better, or I want to move my body more, or, whatever. So you pick one and then you get really specific. I want to move my body 4 times a week. Okay. Is that measurable? Well, sure. How many times a week did you move your body? Is that achievable? That depends on what your health status is when you start and what you are defining as moving your body. If you are like, I'm going from being a total and complete couch potato to I'm going to run a marathon, that's not achievable. But if you're like, hey, I realized that in December, my average step count per day was 3,000. I'd like to move my body by taking 5,000 steps per day to start 4 days a week. That's measurable. That's achievable. Is it relevant? Well, that's up for that person to decide if it's relevant or not. And then timely. If you're checking in with yourself of like, I want to do it 4 days a week, I'm going to do that for the month of January, and then I'm going to check in with myself, it's timely and it's time bound. And then there's that built-in check-in point where you can adjust your SMART goal if needed.
Those are all excellent tips and steps. How should I be thinking about this along the way? How should I be measuring the way I'm feeling? Can I trust the way I'm feeling? How will I know?
Also very good questions. And the answer to that question lies in a lot of complex factors. For example, how well have you done in trusting yourself in the past? Have you built a relationship where you don't trust yourself? And so when you're telling yourself, I can't do this, are you telling yourself because physically you're actually about to hurt yourself? Or are you telling this because you're afraid of failing? And so you are in some ways self-sabotaging so that you don't feel let down later. You want to take control of the failure so that you don't let yourself or other people down.
Yeah, that was definitely a roundabout way of asking you, how much pressure should I put on my considered goal, right? Because it isn't easy to make change.
Yes.
It isn't easy to make change.
This is where I like to lean back on another tool. Anxiety, for example, loves to use what if to tell us all these bad scenarios. What if this went terribly? What if I hurt myself? What if this person hates me? Da, da, da. But you can use what if really positively as well. And I think this is something you can use if you're checking in with yourself. If you're like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't know if I could do this one more day, ask yourself, what if I could? Or I'm not sure I can take 5,000 steps today. What if I could hit that 3,000 mark I was hitting before? What if I could? It gives you more gentleness, it gives you more curiosity, and it gives you the possibility of considering success. And sometimes that gentleness allows you to keep going. A friend of mine once told me, funny enough, about going to the gym, I rarely regret going once I'm there. I do often regret not going. And so I think the what if I could helps encourage us, because if I show up to the gym, if we'll go back to that, because again, January 1st, that's a big goal for lots of people. If I go to the gym and I get there and I'm like, you know what? I really do feel terrible. What if I could walk for 10 minutes? And then at 10 minutes, if I'm still feeling terrible, I could go home. And then I know I tried. Gives you that chance, because if you say to yourself, I have to do this, and I encourage you to try this, say, I have to do this.
I have to do this.
Notice how you feel in your body when you say that.
Hate it.
And then
hate to be told what to do.
Yes, even by yourself. Now say, what if I could do this?
Yeah. No, what if I could do this?
And do you notice how it feels differently?
Definitely. I have used the 10-minute walk thing.
Great.
I'm a former, trail runner, so I have, even a bad run is better than no run most days. But I do give myself permission, though, to turn around.
Yes.
To turn around. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is that you're kind to yourself along the way, no matter what New Year's resolution you make or don't make.
Absolutely.
So you don't set a New Year resolution, but you do appreciate the clean slate like I do. How do you think about this time of year?
I think about it in the same way that I talk to my clients about. Every day is a chance to do something different. If I don't like how today went, if I don't like how yesterday went, I can try something different. And so January 1st is a clean slate of that too, of like, all right, I can try something different this year if I want to.
Dr. Koriann Cox, really appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for taking the time, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm so glad to be here.
Dr. Koriann Cox is a UW Clinical Assistant Professor in the Department of Psychology and Behavioral Sciences. Appreciate you listening to Seattle Now, and thank you to our generous financial supporters. Today's episode was produced by Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers. It was edited by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez. Our production team also includes Vaughn Jones, Andy Hurst, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you soon.